In today's advanced English lesson with Taylor Swift, I will be breaking down the lyrics to the song Willow by Taylor Swift. There's a lot of figurative language in the song, which can make it very hard for non-native English speakers to understand what she's talking about. But it is my goal to help you understand at least a little bit of it by the end of this video. Today, I will be going over similes, metaphors, idioms, expressions, and some advanced vocabulary. We'll be using FluentU to go over the lesson today, so if you want to follow along for more in-depth study, I left a link for you in the description below. Now, let's get into Willow. The beginning of this song starts out with a simile. The lyrics say, "I'm like the water when your ship rolled in that night." A simile is a figure of speech. It's a type of figure of speech where you're comparing two things. You compare one thing to another thing of a different kind. It's used to make a description more vivid and lively. And just so you're aware, again, a figure of speech is a word or phrase that is used in a non-literal way. To say something like, "I'm as crazy as a fox," does not mean that I am a fox. It's just a comparison. So at the very beginning of Willow, Taylor says, "I'm like the water." Taylor is comparing herself to water to create a nice image in this song, saying she is like the water when his ship, aka him, rolled in or came in on a certain night. In the next line, we actually see another simile. Remember, a simile usually has the word like or as in it when comparing. Here we have rough on the surface, but you cut through like a knife. The simile here is you cut through like a knife. See, the guy that Taylor Swift is talking about in the song isn't actually using a knife to cut things. You know, it's not literal. If someone cuts through something like a knife, it makes you think like, ouch, that must hurt, you know? Maybe they're not nice or they're harsh. That's what this simile is saying. The like in this sentence is what shows us that it is a simile. Taylor is still talking about her relationship with this guy in figures of speech. Here we have our first advanced term of the day. Do you guys know what an open-shut case is? FluentU shows us that an open-shut case refers to a legal situation which is easily decided or solved because the facts are very clear. For example, you could say something like, "The murder was an open-shut case because they already caught the killer." Let's look at how it's used in these lyrics real quick. Taylor Swift is saying even if this was an open-shut case, if it was clear, she still wouldn't know because of the look on this guy's face. Maybe because he's deceiving, so it makes her unsure. This entire sentence right here is another figure of speech called a metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech where a word or phrase that usually designates one thing actually means something else. I know that sounds really weird to understand, but the examples will be very helpful for you, so don't worry. It's basically like a simile without the like in it. You just kind of take it out. Instead of saying "I'm like the water," you could say "I am the water." See, it's not that hard. One common metaphor that I want to bring up is the world is a stage. Is the world actually a stage? No. It's just being compared to one. Let's look at the lyrics of Willow. The idiom here is lost in your current. Taylor Swift is explaining how it feels to be in love with this guy. She's lost in his current. And just so you know, a current is a flow of water within a larger body, like an ocean or river. A current is a flow of water in there. Then it goes to another simile, like a priceless wine. So these lyrics are saying that Taylor Swift is lost in this guy, like one would be when drinking a priceless wine. And just so you guys know, something that is priceless is something that is so valuable that the price can't be determined. So something that is priceless has a lot of value. Let's do a quick quiz to review similes and metaphors. To say that it is raining cats and dogs, would that be a simile or a metaphor? Yes, it is a metaphor. There is no like or as in that phrase. It is just a metaphor. It's raining cats and dogs means that it's raining really, really hard. As an extra question for you guys, could you make a simile for being tired, a simile using like or as. Like, for example, I could say, I am as tired as a bear during the winter. What could you guys say? Now, obviously, I can't tell you if your sentence is right or wrong, right? Because this is a video. But you can definitely drop that sample sentence in the comments below and I can go through and read it and let you know what I think of it. Here we have the start of the chorus. We start the chorus with a pattern. Do you see it? The more you say, the less I know. The in this sentence acts as a pattern. It's used to make comparisons about two different things, situations, and people. For example, I could say something like, the more food that I eat, the happier that I am. You guys know me, I love food. I'm always going to use an example with food if I can. Now, if we go forward to the next sentence, we have the word stray. Based on how it's used in this part of the song, what do you think it means? It actually means to move away aimlessly from. So, what Taylor Swift is saying is that whenever this guy moves away, she follows him. Here we have the second part of the chorus where we actually have an idiom. When you say take my hand, you don't literally mean it. It means to join someone as in a partnership, endeavor, or experience. We also have a really interesting idiom in the next part of this chorus, which you might not have even noticed. Here we have that's my man. And if you hover over the that's in the sentence, it says that it's actually an idiom. It's used to indicate pride or satisfaction regarding the person or thing mentioned. Something that we'll say commonly in English is like, that's my boyfriend, or that's my sister, when we are really proud of them for doing something. That is what Taylor is hinting at in Willow. This is just one thing I love about FluentU. If you look up that's in a dictionary, you're only gonna get like the normal definition of like that is, you know? It wouldn't tell you what that's means in this specific context in Willow. You would miss out on a whole English idiom. Like, it's literally only something that a native could tell you. But FluentU is able to show you this stuff as well. You literally get to learn English through context so that you can understand idioms like this when they come up in real life. I have a link of FluentU for you in the description below for 2 weeks, absolutely free. Go and see how many more of these idioms that you can find and practice them. Then come back here and let me know how you liked it. Now we are going to get into some more figures of speech. First, we have life was a willow. Taylor is relating life to a willow, as in a willow tree. Then she goes on and says, and it bent right to your wind, saying that life, aka a willow tree, bent or curved to this guy, or to his wind. Again, Taylor is making a comparison. The guy's power or influence is the wind. She's basically saying that her life revolved around this guy. Or that's what it felt to her because she liked him so much. Let's do another quick quiz and tell me if this next sentence is a simile or a metaphor. Looking at this sentence, what do you think? Metaphor? Simile? The like right here shows that it's a simile, like you were a trophy or a champion ring. Again, she is comparing this guy to a trophy, an object given to winners of a competition, and a champion ring. She's relating this guy to all these things that are of great worth, right? A trophy and a champion ring. And that is why she goes on to say this next sentence. And there was one prize I'd cheat to win. This guy in the song is the prize. And Taylor said she would cheat to win him. To cheat means to act dishonestly or unfairly for one's own benefit, especially regarding a game or examination. Cheating is bad, folks. Don't do it. Taylor is just expressing that she would go that far to cheat in order to get this guy. Expression alert! Time and time again is an expression that means often or repeatedly. For example, I eat chocolate time and time again. I can't seem to cut it out of my diet. By the way, if you're liking this video so far, and if you love chocolate like I do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up to let me know that you liked it. We have another idiom in this sentence, and it is after dark. It simply means during the night, and it can have a more serious feeling to it. Like, let's meet up after dark and talk about our evil plan. Here we have our final 2 advanced English expressions. Every bait and switch was a work of art. Let's break this down a bit, shall we? Bait and switch is a technique in which people are promised one thing but then receive another. This term is often used in business when you make a deal and you were promised something, but you don't get what you were promised. And a work of art is a painting, sculpture, poem, piece of music, or other product of the creative arts. In Willow though, it is being used figuratively. Every bait and switch that this guy gave her was a work of art. This is implying that what this guy promised her wasn't given to her, something else was given, but it was a work of art, so it was a good bait and switch, which actually doesn't happen too often in real life. If you want to see the entire transcript of this song and review everything that we went over today, be sure to download the PDF in the description below. Now I have the perfect video for you guys to go check out next. I go over how to learn English with Netflix, specifically with a famous Netflix movie. I think you'll really enjoy the content that I have for you over there, so I'll see you guys over there for part 2 of this lesson.